And I'm backwards again. So let's fix that. That looks right. Let's see who shows up. Put some music on. Nothing like a little bit of adventure. But you can hear me. Who would have thought that putting away my AirPods would cause that much trouble? Being able to hear me is a bonus. It's a bonus. I don't even remember what we were talking about. I'm so frustrated with YouTube and Restream and StreamYard, and you almost could read my lips. Yeah, was I saying a lot? No, we don't need a thumbs up. Thank you. I can't do the music today, guys. I'd love some background music. Something stimulating. So it has been almost 6 weeks since I quit with the vaping. And it has been 2 weeks since my black eye. I don't know if you can tell. You can see a little bit of bruising here. And I don't know if you can see any bruising in the crease of my eye. Everybody's back. Did everybody find me back? Brian, I'm glad to hear that the vape you're vaping on is good. Anything anybody wants to talk about today? Any interesting discussion topics anybody has in mind? My calm repartee was interrupted with a technical glitch. See, it's still working. When it glows, that means it's working. So what else is new, y'all? I feel I might. You love the eyeshadow? Thank you, Cricket. Thank you. It's so nice when people notice my eyeshadow. And we're back. We are, Brian. I was just saying that it's nice that your vape is delivering for you so well. I've smoked hardly at all today. I'm going to have to go out. Is it wrong of you to want to adopt a child just to insist on full vaccination? I mean, no. No, it's not. It's not. I think we're all of an age that can remember our grandmothers and our mothers talking about the siblings they lost, the friends they lost, the lives that were lost, transparent. Usually do the carts. Yeah, the disposables. I keep getting drawn into the disposables, but they disappoint me every time. They always clog like halfway through the cart. Transparent glitter Post-its. That sounds like a lovely purchase. I think I need some transparent glitter Post-its in my life. Your grandma died from TB when she was 21. Oh my goodness, Cricket. My grandmother's sister died when my grandmother was 3 or 4, maybe 6. It's her baby sister. She never forgot it. She never forgot it. Mom will sometimes mention the ultimate sacrifice during World War II, losing a child. Yeah. Losing a child, losing a beloved. Oh, Brian. It's like watching your heart rock around outside your body and you have no control over anything. I had a friend of mine say to me once, how do you do anything? How do you manage to do anything without anxiety? I'm like, it becomes the new normal. It's terrifying and it becomes the new normal. Soda hair. It's got to be a soda hair. They're called the silent generation, the greatest generation. Well, let's find out why, Cricket. Cultural conformity, work and duty over protest, less visible youth culture. The term silent generation first appeared in a Time magazine article in 1951, which described the youth of the day as preferring caution and conformity over bold statements or political movements. Yes, Papa Cat, I sure was. Mm-hmm. Of course, not every member fit this label. This generation also produced major cultural figures, civil rights leaders, and writers. But the stereotype of being more quiet, dutiful, and cautious compared to surrounding generations stuck. So the silent generation is between the greatest generation and the boomers. Yeah, I know. I know Papa Cat or Cricket, Elvis. So the greatest generation were sacrifice and survival. The silent generation were caution and conformity. And the boomers were rebellion and transformation, disruption. Okay, professor. I'll do a better job of calling out who's speaking or not. Do you need to get going soon, professor, and for Mindy's stream? So does that explain more for you, Cricket, about the silent generation? Interesting. The silent generation's quieter style. The silent generation wasn't really silent. They were just cautious innovators. Their quiet revolutions in arts, civil rights, and stability built the platform the baby boomers loudly leapt from. Without the silence groundwork, the boomer revolution would have had less to push against and fewer opportunities to flourish. Silents were often the parents of younger boomers raising families in the new suburbs with television, cars, and relative prosperity. That environment gave boomers both comfort and a sense of boredom with conformity, spurring them to break out with radical music, fashion, and protests. Bye bye, Professor. Like the man in the gray flannel suit. Yes, exactly like the man in the gray flannel suit. Martin Luther King Jr. and John Lewis were both silent generations. Maya Angelou and Allen Ginsberg were silent generation. Elvis Presley and Chuck Berry were silent generation. Silence came of age during McCarthyism, when being outspoken could destroy careers, so they avoided confrontation. In contrast, boomers saw the silence as complicity and were determined to push back. Mm-hmm. The beat poets. Yes, Brian. That was that the beat poets were, people forget that those beat poets were silent generation. They weren't boomers. all of the Kerouac, exactly, Cricket. All of that early 50s, all of that really cool stuff was silent generation, not necessarily hippies. See, it just clogs up. There, it's better again. You met Allen Ginsberg in the 90s. He did a lecture down in Hot Springs. Did he really, Brian? Betty Friedan. Betty wasn't silent. That was a woman who was anything but silent. Silent wasn't really her style. Silent wasn't really her style. Yeah, the boomers, the silent generation entered the workforce in the early 50s and the early 60s during a huge boom and became engineers, teachers, bureaucrats, and managers. You live in a silent generation culture pod. You only read commentary and partisan review. Adam, expand your horizons. There is so much to learn. Welcome in, dear. It's good to see you. It's good to see you. We are just talking about the silent generation and why they were called the silent generation and what what distinguished the silent generation from the greatest generation that preceded it and the boomers who followed. Greatest and then silent and then Gen X. No. Greatest and then silent. The greatest, silent, baby boomers, Gen X, millennials, Gen Z, and Gen Alpha. That's what it is. Greatest, silent, baby boomers, Gen X, millennials, generation Gen Z, and Gen Alpha. We will see. So, any other discussion topics? I should have a draw. I should have a discussion topic. I should have a discussion topic. That's what we should do. I should have a bunch of discussion topics. Okay. So, guys, let's think about it for a minute. If we could all visit 1 year for 24 hours, which year would you want to go to? Let's say we could all visit a year. We could go at any year for 24 hours. Where would you want to go? It's a fascinating question. I think I'd like to see 1984 again. I think. I don't know. Where would you guys want to go? Should I make an argument for 1984? So you'll all come with me? I just want to see if the 80s were really how we remember them. And it just seems like such a different time, y'all. Such a different time. I had 1982 Massachusetts. There you go, Cricket. We're on the same page. I had a younger millennial tell me that Gen X has done nothing. Gen X has done nothing. "1985. Well, 1984, 1982, 1985. We're all in the early 80s. So millennials said Gen X did nothing. And I've just been thinking about that a little bit. What do you guys think? Do you guys think Gen X did nothing? People always said you had a twin in the other side of the bay. That's amazing that you lived with that for so long, Brain Fog. Just amazing. I'm glad you finally found her. I would love to have a sister. It's when you met your best friends and your dad was still alive. Yeah. Gen X is waiting for the boomers to give up the ghost. Gen X is going to get stuck waiting. They're going to. We're going to get stuck waiting. That's just all there is to it. We're going to wait and wait and wait. Cricket, I can just, I mean, the pathos in that statement is deep for me. We didn't capitalize on the end of the Cold War in the right ways. I know we need to stop waiting and do something. Adam, child number 3, likes to play with alternate histories. And I often think of you when they're running through they also do world building and have a particular interest in political and economic and cultural items. And they have this idea for a sorry, I'm trying to think of two things at once in my brain. They have this idea for an alternative history where FDR doesn't die. Counterfactuals? Yeah. So the one we were playing with yesterday is a counterfactual wall. I do my best to walk the middle path too, Brian. Anymore, at least. Throwing yourself into schoolwork. That's a good thing to throw yourself into. So, child number 3 was discussing, Adam, that if FDR hadn't died, maybe our whole response to the Soviets after the war might have been different. There's a lot that could have been different if FDR hadn't died. Used to think that too until today. A friend made a good argument that it's what got us here. No more middle. Well, it depends on the middle. You can't just take the middle of everything. You can't stand in the middle of everything because sometimes there isn't a middle. But I like what Knitting Cult Lady said. I really like Knitting Cult Lady. If none of you are watching Knitting Cult Lady, you really should. She has a lot of really good things to say that speak directly to the moment that we're in cult kind of language. She's just really good. Child number 3 thinks that his responses would have been gentler. Gentler. But that's just, I mean, that's their opinion. You saw the FDR Museum and Library last month. Very interesting stuff there. I'm not entirely sure that Truman and Eisenhower were the problem in the Soviet relationship that we had, so I'm not sure that it would make much difference either. I think that we were stuck with, um, bad leadership on the Russian side, and you'd have to change some things on the Soviet side as well in order for FDR staying in power to make that much of a difference. So, Knitting Cult Lady tells the story about this man. Brian, enjoy your reading. We were never going to get cozy with Stalin. No, we weren't. We were never going to get cozy with Stalin. See, Adam, I need you there in my ear when child number 3 gets all certain with their counterfactuals because, you know, they're all of 22. So they know everything. And they know everything a lot. And I don't have the energy usually to fight or the brain power to remember all the things. But you're right. We weren't ever going to get cozy with Stalin. That was unlikely to happen. That was child number 3 walking through the house as we speak. Speak of the devil. So, Knitting Cult Lady. I've gotten distracted off of that for 3 or 4 times now. She tells the story about this man who left the children of God. And afterwards, he went on Larry King. Certainty. Wasn't it nice, Cricket? So nice to be so certain. Brain fog, honey. Hugs and hugs, dear. Many hugs. We will see you tomorrow. It is adorable and not worth arguing with because there is nothing like certainty. There is no argument. It's, you know. So this man was in the Children of God and he went on Larry King and he was trying to explain what it was like being in a cult and how terrible it was being in a cult and what he'd been forced to do in the cult. And one of the things that he'd been forced to do was extreme unpleasantness with a 10-year-old girl. That 10-year-old girl happened to be Knitting Cult Lady's mother. But Knitting Cult Lady tells the story of this man telling the story on Larry King and how he told this story and expected to get understanding. And what he got instead was and you did it, he didn't get understanding. He got attacked. And he got attacked badly. Um, yeah, he got attacked badly. And so he went on, and within a few years, he self-deleted. So where's the middle ground there, right? That's how I got on that subject, is middle ground. Where's the middle ground? And I think what Knitting Cult Lady is trying to say is we don't have to like them or agree with them. But when they come out, they've got to have something. I don't know. Maybe that story isn't about middle ground. And maybe it was too much to tell you guys. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if I'm being too much tonight. It is getting, oh, we're on second Minnesota goodbye already. We're on second Minnesota goodbye already. And you know what I think? I think we're going to call this a short night. I am really having trouble keeping up. It's Knitting Cult Lady. Just a second, Cricket. I'll give you the link. She's fascinating. She's written a book that she's publishing called The Culting of America. And she talks about cults, and then she talks about Trump and how we got to where we are. And it comes out in January. And I think we're going to have a book club. I think we're going to have a book club, guys, because I kind of have to. Yeah, she's the Army captain, Adam. She was Army intelligence, analytics. She was an analyst in the Middle East. Yeah, she's got really good stuff. Really good stuff. I like her a lot. In fact, Cricket, she had a video just the other day. I have a link to it where she wanted to talk to Jenna. And I tried to connect her to Jenna through my connections, but I'm not sure that the connection got made. I have no way to get confirmation from either Jenna or Knitting Cult Lady that they connected. but I think that would be a great connection to have happen. She's have you heard her, Adam? Do you like her? See how long we can just watch me watch myself. Yeah, she got good things to say, and she says them cleanly and clearly. She's got her head screwed on tight and straight. She's got great things to say about deconstruction. Really good things to say about deconstruction. She's done she's done some phenomenal work. I'm really looking forward to this book. I really want to have a book club about it. Really want to have a book club about it. So guys, I think I'm going to take my leave of y'all. It's gotten quiet. And I had to take the Band-Aid off my finger. I cut my finger openly yesterday, guys, and it hurts. It hurts. So I need to go rebandage my finger. So with that, you guys, hugs and hugs, y'all. I'll catch y'all on the flip side.